Hey Wunda fam, grab your resistance band and let's get to work. Today we're gonna start all the way down on our mat in a seated position going into a roll down. So you have your legs extended in front of you on your mat, take the band and loop it under the arches of your feet. Feet are in a closed parallel position and arms are in a nice wide V. Sit as tall as you can, and then we're gonna lean with a flat back just 2 to 3 inches, keeping your head in line with your spine. And now we're gonna roll down. We're gonna do this just once. You know, that's always very good news. Roll all the way down, but keep your shoulders up and off of the mat. We're in a low rolled position, and all we're gonna do now is lengthen up, maybe half an inch, and lower back down. Think about length rather than height as we open the arms wide to the side, engaging through the middle back. Little lift and little lower. Lengthening and reaching like you're a hammock, trying to reach through the wall behind you. Finding that breath to help elevate the body. I love an inhale as we rise with length and an exhale to decelerate and draw the ribs close to the spine. Inhale to pick it up. Finding breath through the collarbones, reaching all the way from the toes through the crown of the head. Let's go for 3 more. This is 2. With control, we're gonna roll all the way back up. Exhale as we roll, lift, articulating through the spine, arms stay nice and wide, and return to that seated position. Okay, let's take that band off of our feet and we're gonna come onto our knees. So rise onto your knees on your mat, and we have our knees about 4 inches apart parallel, and we're gonna take that red band wide between the hands. Here we're gonna float the hands up and overhead, and we're gonna arc over to the left side. You wanna have your right ribs fanned, and the arms are long and we have tension on that band. We're gonna exhale, the left arm is gonna bend and we're gonna focus through the biceps there. And then inhale as it extends. Now we're gonna pass it to the right hand. So you can take the right arm, bend, inhale and extend. So we're just gonna pass it back and forth. We're gonna hold that bend. Exhale as your elbow bends, inhale as your arm extends, finding length in both directions. So as the elbow bends, we certainly feel those biceps fire on, but what I want you to also find is that length in the triceps. So as the biceps contract, we're lengthening the triceps. Inhale as the arm goes long, exhale, reach the elbow away from the shoulder. Inhale as we extend long. Can you fan your top ribs, your right ribs a little bit more? Can you find more length from under the left ribs towards the left pelvis? You want to find lots of length even when we are in this arched position. This is going to be our last set. So the left arm bends and then it extends. And now the right arm bends on the exhale and it extends. And with control, return your body upright. Keep your hands up and overhead. This is the top of our next position. We're going to exhale as we lower down. Our heels are going to get a little tap from our behind. Hands lower to the mat, that's an exhale. Inhale as you bring it back up to start with a wide V. Exhale as we crease at the hips, lengthening down. Inhale as you bring it up. So you can do this at your own pace, but match that breath. Exhaling down and inhale, finding your ribs lifting off of the pelvis to rise rather than just thinking about pushing up with your quads. We want everything connected here. Think about lifting from under your seat as your breath elevates you. We're finding tension in that band, opening up through the shoulders, engaging the middle back. It gives us that feedback that our arms belong in the middle back. So you can think about that funnel shape that you're creating from the tops of your hands down the arms, sliding down into the middle back, and the ribs funnel into the pelvis. So you want to find that little triangle shape, upside down triangle shape as you work. So we're gonna exhale as we lower, inhale to come up. Let's do 2 more like this, guys, and then we're gonna arc to the other side. Inhale as you float up with length, exhale as we lower down. Hold this next one up, hold and breathe. And then we're gonna fan open the left ribs this time, keeping lots of length on the right waistline. Exhale, right elbow bends. Inhale, arm extends. Exhale, left elbow bends. Inhale, arm extends. So keep working at your own pace. What we want to find is that length in the body the whole time. So you can see that Kristen is keeping a lot of space on her waistline, and she's also got this beautiful openness to the sideline on the left side of her body. As we work, we're keeping the shoulder off of the ears and the collarbones nice and wide. finding that length as we pass that band side to side. We're gonna go for one more of these. And go ahead and release. Now we're gonna go into a plank, and we're gonna show you a few different versions so that you can choose your challenge today. Either way, we're gonna place that band flat onto the mat and bring our hands like starfish over that band. Then we're gonna step our feet nice and wide on the mat, going into a nice wide plank. So if this is a good challenge for you, you can stay here. We're next going to show you a little variation where you can hover the left hand and set it back down. You're gonna shift your weight a little bit to find that hover, if that is a good challenge for you. Now, if you're looking for even more, Kristen's gonna stay doing that hover. If you're looking for even more, you can take the left hand and slide the band out to the side for a lateral raise. So you do what works for you and what's a good challenge for your body today. You can hold that plank if that's a good challenge as well. You can slide the hand out, or you can do the little hovers. Draw the navel up and in, creating your best diagonal line. Last 3. We're going into a 4-point kneel in 2. And bring both knees down. All right, we have a 4-point kneel. Our hands are still across that red band. This time, we are going to take the right hand onto the band, and I'm gonna give myself a little more length here, so make sure you have enough length. And we're gonna come into a bicep curl with that right hand in front of us. And then we're going to float the left leg back into a donkey kick position. So you wanna find close to a 90-90 bend, but we wanna make sure we do that with a neutral pelvis and lots of length in the low back. All we're gonna do is a little tiny shift up and back to start. So you should feel this activation from under the shoulder blade, through the biceps, and then in a diagonal orientation, you're gonna feel that left waistline and left hip fire on, stabilizing the pelvis, really firing up the core. Looking straight down at the mat, you wanna have lots of length through the backside of the spine, lifting off of your left wrist rather than sinking down into it. Give it a try to bring your left knee a little bit closer to the center line of the body, and you'll feel that inner thigh fire on pretty sincerely. Let's go for 2 more like this. Hold in your start position. Now we're gonna go out to a lateral raise. That means we're going out to the side, still in that bend. And then we bring it back in to start. And then we do a rotation, a little swivel. The left knee and the right elbow go out in opposition. Keeping the ribs quiet. They're moving with breath, but they're not turning in space. Keeping the pelvis quiet, so we're moving from the top of that arm bone and the top of that thigh bone. Last 2, we're gonna go into a full extension. And then bring the arm and leg back to start, and now we're gonna reach the right arm long as the left leg reaches long behind us. Come back into that 90-90 bend, and then we're gonna reach all the way long, and then bend to about 90. I'm feeling some heat through that shoulder and through that left hip. Inhale to reach, exhale to bend. Draw that navel up and in, lifting off of that left wrist. Last 2. And this is the last one. Let's hold it out, hold it and breathe for 4. Lengthening and reaching for 3. For 2, and we're gonna rise onto our feet. Last 1. Go ahead and bring the hand and the foot down, and we're gonna take our band with us to stand onto our feet for a carousel horse. So we're going to take the band and bring the ball of our right foot onto it and take a nice step back with your left foot. Then we're gonna take the left arm only out into a wide V position, and we're gonna lower straight down. Both knees bend generously, torso stays upright, and then we inhale as we bring it up. Exhaling as we lower down. Inhaling as we bring it up. Now I know you feel that right hip straight away, so I want you to keep working on your end. I know you feel that right hip activating straight away, but we're holding that red band out to fire up that diagonal sling, right? So we've got our left shoulder girdle working across to the right hip, and then across to that left inner thigh. So the leg behind you is not just there for I don't know, a kickstand or just a prop, right? We want to find that sling, that diagonal angle sliding through the body as we're working. So this challenge of the red band adds that. You can bring the arm down a bit if it starts to feel aggressive at any point, and that's going to relieve some of the effort through the shoulder. Good. For the last few, I'm going to give you the challenge. Kristen's going to show it to us, where we have the right heel picking up off the floor as well. And I'm going to give her a little balance support. You can always touch onto a chair or a counter nearby. Glue your eyes ahead, and that's going to up the challenge and the connection to the inner thighs even more. Do you feel that happening, where we really sink into the inner thighs as that heel comes up? Beautiful job. Give me 2 more just like that. These are gorgeous. Exhaling down, inhaling as we come up. Hold this last one. I don't know if you guys heard her, but she was like, can I hold it? Can I hold this one? Last 3, we're breathing for 2. And then we're gonna melt the heel down and rise up. Gorgeous. All right, let's keep that band under the sole of our right foot, but we're gonna turn forward and come into a wide plie position, a wide turnout, wider than our shoulders. And then we're gonna take the red band under the right foot and in our right hand. We're gonna go into some side stretches. So we're gonna first extend the arm long. So you should feel that red band helping to plug the arm down into the shoulder girdle. Then we're gonna inhale as we fan and arc. You can gaze towards the left foot. And then we're gonna exhale, return to upright. Inhale as we arc, fanning the right ribs. Exhale as we return to start. So this is not about how far you can travel. It's really about what kind of length and oppositional tension you can find inside your own skin. Inhale as we arc, exhale as we bring it back. I'm gonna challenge you to add an invisible softness to the backside of your knees. I just tried that, and now my legs are so much more active than when we're just kind of parked out in the joints. So we really wanna lengthen and reach, arcing over. Let's go for 2 more like this. Inhale as we arc, find that length, find that invisible softness behind the knee joints. Shoulder blade melting down the spine, last one. And bring it back. Now keep your feet where they are, but we're gonna take that band out and we're gonna do a lunge plie repeat, but we're gonna stay low today rather than rising up. So take the band in front of your chest, palms down. We're gonna keep the torso upright as we lower into our plie. That's an exhale breath. And then we're gonna inhale as we turn towards the right and we hold the lunge low here. And then exhale through the center. And then inhale, rotate towards the left. So we're swiveling through the top of the thigh bones as we really improve functionality and tone and flexibility of the hips. So I really want you thinking about, we're not moving just from our feet, we're moving from the tops of those thigh bones, and the pelvis is staying level. So it's really those thigh bones swiveling through the pelvis swiveling around the thigh bones, and that's activating the core really deeply and improving function, and the tush. Making everything look nice and toned while we're improving how it works in our everyday lives. Bring it back through center. We're gonna hold in that plie. Can you commit to a little bit lower hold? We're gonna hold for 8 seconds. You can always choose the challenge of peeling both heels up and off the floor. For 6, plug the arms into the middle back. Get a little bit lower for 3, 2, and both heels melt to the floor. Inhale and rise up. We're gonna stay in this turned out position. Let's take that band and we're gonna drape it under the left foot, now going into that side bend on the left side. Right arm comes down, left arm rises up. Let's find that invisible softness in the backside of the knees straight away. Inhale and arc. Exhale, bring it back. Finding that breath and length. Finding that reach as the shoulder blade plugs into the middle back. Think about that length between the right hip and the right rib. So it's not about just kind of smashing those 2 points together to get a great big curve in your spine. You want to find that reach and that length. So we're opening up space in the spine as we tone the waistline, the legs, the shoulders, and the arms. Let's go for 1 more like this. And we've got that carousel horse other side. We're gonna turn into our carousel horse. You wanna keep that band under your left foot, but switch to your right hand. Then we're gonna step the right foot back, so we're in a lunge position to set up with our arm long out to the side. You get your sternum right over your pubic bone, and then we're gonna exhale, both knees bend a lot as we lower down, and inhale as we lengthen back up to 2 straight legs. Exhale as we lower down, both knees bend, inhale as you bring it up. Can you draw that imaginary line in your mind's eye? So now that you know about those diagonal slings, can you find that right shoulder connecting across to the left hip and then across again to the right inner thigh? Can you find that energy connection going through the body? You can always lower the red band if it starts to feel aggressive. Keep that right arm plugging into the right shoulder blade. Exhale. I like to think about my inner thighs as magnets, and they're resisting going down, resisting coming apart, and then they're assisting to raise. And that breath is going to reinforce that effort. Inhale as we bring it up. Exhaling as we lower down. We're gonna go for one more, and then we're gonna hold it. Exhale as we lower, hold and breathe. And now we're gonna pick that left heel up off the floor. Glue your eyes to something ahead of you. Get a balance assist if you need to. And now we're gonna lower and raise with both heels elevated. Inhale as we come up. And exhale as we lower, nice and slow, almost like we're moving through peanut butter or almond butter, you know, whichever one you like better. Using those upper inner thighs to help us lower and raise with our breath. Keeping the shoulders stacked right over the hips. And we're gonna hold this next one low, hold and breathe. Thinking about the left hip reaching back as the left knee reaches forward. Last 2, and heel goes down, inhale and rise up. All right, let's go into that 4-point kneeling situation on the other side. So we're gonna take that red band onto the mat. Both palms of our hands go onto it, and we are going to get our knees 4 inches apart parallel. Straight away, we're gonna take that red band into the left hand and make a bicep curl position with it. And then we're gonna reach the right leg back, and that's into an approximately 90-degree bend with the foot flexed. Little tiny lift, and that's it. Little tiny lift. So we're creasing right at the glam line, right where our glutes and our hamstrings meet. And we're thinking about lifting off of that right shoulder. So it's really tempting to kind of want to sink into the shoulder, and we want to think about lifting up and out of the shoulder. As we're working here, Kristen's showing us a great job of keeping the pelvis organized, and she's doing a great job of keeping that foot flexed without dumping into the low back by trying to get the foot so high. Don't worry about the height of the foot, worry about the organization of the exercise. I'm gonna challenge Kristen a little bit further to bring her right knee in towards the seam of her pants. And she's gonna fire on that inner thigh a little bit more. You feel that happen? All right, hold this next one, and then we're gonna go out to the side. So we're gonna do the little lateral raise out to the side. Gorgeous. So as we do that, we wanna do our best to not change the knee bend, and we're just gonna swivel out to the side. And then that's really gonna fire up through the glute med and work it through the hip. Gorgeous. Keep focusing on not locking into that right elbow. You want to find some softness there as we're working and lifting off of that wrist. Let's go for 2 more of that swivel outbound. Let's hold it through center, and we're going to go for that reach. Here we go. The left arm reaches long and the right leg reaches behind us. That's an inhale breath. Exhale as we bring it back to start. Inhale as you lengthen and reach. You're looking straight down at the mat the whole time. Exhale as we draw it back in. Find that inner thigh connection that we just found when we were doing our lunges and we were upright. Now we want to find that same magnet between the inner thighs. So the legs reach apart with resistance. And then those inner thighs and that breath on the exhale, drag everything towards the center. Let's do 2 more like this. And we've got that super fun plank, yeah? With a little arm reach. Inhale as we lengthen. And exhale, bring it back in with control. All right, both knees go down. Keep your hands on that band. And then we're going to step our feet back into our best plank with our feet nice and wide on the mat. Gives us a really stable base to work from. So we can hold here if this is a great challenge for you today. We can also choose to start hovering the right hand off the mat. Just little hovers. It's going to be a small weight shift. Little hovers. Keep them controlled. And then if you're looking for additional challenge, you can always take the right hand onto the band and go into a lateral raise out to the side. So it's entirely up to you which version you'd like to do in your own body today. Holding and breathing, lengthening tailbone from crown of head, lengthening heels from crown of head for 3, for 2. All right, guys, and next we're gonna go into our around the world, but this time we're gonna move the torso rather than the legs. So we're gonna come onto our backs, and we're gonna take that red band underneath the soles of our feet in a closed parallel position. Feet are flexed, pelvis is neutral, arms are wide to the sides. On the inhale breath, float the back side of the head up and off the mat, and then we're gonna roll, picking up the right shoulder blade, going into a deeper curl through center, keeping both shoulder blades up, right shoulder blade comes down, and we roll back to start. Other direction, let's go around the world the other way. We're picking that left shoulder blade up, deepening the curl, both shoulder blades come up and off the floor, left shoulder blade touches down, and we go through the center. Switch sides, right shoulder blade comes up, curling through the center, both shoulder blades are up, right touches down, and we're gonna alternate sides. So you can kind of do your own little journey around the world, but just make sure that you're getting an equal count in both directions. You wanna keep everything nice and even as we roll and initiate the effort from the opposite side. Let's do one more each side. Inhaling as we pick it up. Exhale as we roll through center. This is gonna be our last one. Arms are nice and wide, pelvis is quiet. And bring the head, neck, and shoulders down. From here, we're gonna go into our abdominal arcs with the band. So what we're gonna do is inhale, float the back side of the head up as the band stretches even wider. That's an inhale breath. And then exhale, allow the band to contract as you set the head down. Inhale, open up, hip and middle back. And exhale as you bring it back down. If you're looking for additional challenge, you can extend the legs long as you inhale and float up. Exhale and bring it back down to start. So it's entirely up to you if you choose that option or not. You can do anywhere in between as well. It doesn't have to be all the way in or all the way out. Kind of pay attention to your body and find what is a great challenge for you today, what feels nice on your low back. That band is giving us some feedback about the thigh bones sinking into the pelvis as we come into that ab curl. So it's massaging through those hips as we work. Let's go for 2 more here. Inhaling as we lengthen. Exhale as we bring it back down. Last one. Hold it up and out, and now we're going to transition into downhill skis. So we're going to exhale, the knees swivel to the left. Inhale, parallel through center. Exhale, knees swivel to the right. So as you're working, if this starts to feel tense on your neck at all, or if this feels aggressive for you, you can always set your head, neck, and shoulders down and continue with the same range of movement with the legs. Keeping the pelvis as quiet as possible, so you want to feel this really activating through the inner thighs, outer thighs, and waistline. So if you can keep your pelvis really still, you're going to find even more activation there. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale, swivel through center. Just a few more here, guys. Find that middle back connection as we reach. Last one, bring the knees all the way in and lower the feet to the ground. That is our last exercise, and now we're going to do some really nice stretches to open up our back. All right, guys, we made it. Let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to use that band to give some great feedback about our breath and opening up our ribs. I'm going to show you from the rear to see what's happening with the back line of the body, and Kristen's going to stay showing us from the front. So you're going to take that band and wrap it just underneath your shoulder blades, nice and wide. And then you're going to cross it underneath the base of the ribs. So you're going to cross it on the front side of the body, and then we're just going to hold the hands out to the sides. Now what the idea is to exhale as we narrow and allow the ribs and the band to get its feedback, drawing close to the spine. And inhale, broaden the ribs, broaden the band, wide rather than high. Exhale as we narrow. This is really about mobilizing the ribs with our breath. Inhale as we broaden. This is a beautiful way to release tension in your day, release tension in the spine, and find deeper breath and a deeper inhale. So see if you can keep your shoulders from elevating and really work through the ribs broadening. Use that band for feedback, so it's narrowing the ribs on the way in and opening the ribs wide on the way out. If you don't have a band, you can do this with a scarf or even a long towel. All right, let's hold the next one here, and we're just gonna fan the right ribs open and then rotate towards the sky, opening through the back, opening through the ribs. Exhale as you unwind. We're gonna come upright, and then inhale as we fan the left ribs and open towards the sky. And exhale, come back through center. You can do that as many times as you like, and we're gonna finish with a roll down. So we can set that red band down, feet are 4 inches apart, parallel, arms come up and overhead. We're gonna exhale as we dive forward, thinking about lifting from under the ribs. We reach our hands towards the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to reach the floor. Take a nice breath here, looking back between the legs, opening through the upper back. Allow the neck to just release. And hands come to the front side of the shins. We're slowly going to use our inhale breath to help us elevate and rise. Stacking the spaces between our joints. At the top, we're going to open our arms towards the sky, opening our heart and drawing our navel up and in as we imprint the arms to our sides with strength. And keep that as your best posture for the rest of the day.